Yeah, Sunday morning vibes. Sunlight streams through my window pane. Coffee brewing, easing my brain.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday morning musings with yours truly, K Wall. A little raw and real right here, a little windy. But I couldn't resist coming outside and being in the sunshine. I'm getting solar charged. So we just had that full moon in the sign of Scorpio. And I'm sure by now we've all heard all of these wonderful tidbits about the full moon in Scorpio, and it was a micro moon, so it was further away from the Earth. And with a super moon, it's closer to the Earth, so we usually feel it more strongly, more intensely. So you would think that a micro moon would, settle down on that, but no, because of the sextile to two other planets, Venus and Saturn. Now, of course, Saturn in the sign of Aries just is all about restrictions and boundaries, and it's that grumpy old man telling us, no, you gotta do this or you can't do that. And then Venus comes in, sextiling the moon in Scorpio, to soften things. Venus, the planet of love, which is in the sign of Gemini, duality. With duality, look what I'm doing. It's about finding balance too. So I'm getting a lot of balance with this full moon. Also, the fact that it's called the flower moon. Let's think about that. So a flower, I was just mowing the lawn the other day and I found a viola, this beautiful pink little flower. And I said, God, that's beautiful. I see a lot of dandelions, but this flower, this purple flower, I was like, wow, I love this. And I started to think, so we just had the flower full moon. And where did these dandelions come from? Where did this viola come from? This full moon represents the things that have taken place over the last few months about how, oh, is my phone going to tilt? It's about what's going on underneath the surface. It's about those changes and those shifts that have occurred that weren't big, weren't bold. They were subtle. They were happening within ourselves. And it's time to come out and start to bloom. It takes a lot of effort from seedling to sprout to bloom. It's about that constant momentum and going through, pushing through the hard dirt, withstanding the weather and everything else and the cold. But there's still something happening. So the flower is the proof that has weathered the storms through strength and resilience, but patience as well. A lot of times when we talk about strength and persistence, we think we have to keep going and keep trudging on every day, work, work, work. No, it's about those subtle changes that just happen within us. And we start to feel a shift within ourselves, which is the driving force to continue to go with that. And I just want you to think about that with this full moon, because usually, full moon is all surrender, release, let go, let God. Yes, it is. But this one was more about detaching from those things that we think like, oh, I always have to be working. I always have to be making progress every day, every day. Let's detach that thought. Yes, it's another form of letting go. But it's like that detachment of like, I'm not taking this with me anymore. Now with that, I want you to also think about May 1st was the full moon. In Scorpio, Scorpio's the detective, but this one was a lot of passion in that. And always asking why, always getting to the next, They don't play in the shallow waters. Actually, it's an earth element, so they like to dig deep. It's always why. Now, the thing is, May 31st is another full moon. So the fact that there are 2 full moons in one calendar month makes the second one a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. Okay, let me tell you, a blue moon happens at least once a year. But, I can explain why a rainbow happens, but I'd rather believe that it's magic. Same thing with the blue moon. But the fact that May 1st, full moon, May 31st, full moon, it's about mirrors. It's about this month of May testing us. Are we going to go back to the old ways? Are we going to use persistence to keep moving forward and making a habit out of the things that make us feel better, like our full selves? Enough people pleasing, enough doing things we don't want to do, enough being the roles that we are put into by other people, society, work, etc., community, and saying, okay, may I introduce myself to you? May I be my full self? May I, and choosing things, may that be your mantra for May. May I today just take a moment to believe, have a little cup of tea, and go at my own pace today. May I give myself permission to go at my own pace today? So with that, it's like bookends or mirrors with those 2 full moons. Now, the second full moon is in Sagittarius. We'll get into that later in the month about healing our wounded healer. Put a pin in that. So as I was reflecting on all of this, and yes, I'm a couple days into May already, but I felt that this was so important that even if it helps one person with their perspective, may I do that for you? Within that, this morning I got up and I did something that I have not done in years. I did some yoga stretching. I've been having some issues with my back and my hips and my shoulders. Oh my. So I said, may I be gentle with myself? May I take the time out to restore what my body is saying? Hello, I need a little attention. I need you to focus on this so that we can be that wheel spinning on all cylinders. And we don't have to go fast. We just have to move. And if we don't take care of this now, it's going to cease. And while I was in Shavasana, I was meditating and it started to come to me, all the zodiac signs. So, Aries, find your spark, but through playfulness. Aries is determined, it's the fire element. However, it got burned out in that Aries stellium in April with that new moon in Aries, April 17th. And yes, it was in the later degree of the decan of Aries, but all those planets, all that, everything got a little burned out. So Aries needs to find the playfulness to ignite that spark. Taurus, Taurus season, I love it. And we are going to go outside and we're going to ground ourselves. But Taurus, I want you to, whether it's in your house, whether it's in your yard, whether it's, I don't know, a place that you like to drive to, or create a space of like your own sacred place. Taurus, I feel like there's been a little like slothiness, like maybe in your emotional wheelhouse where you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm okay with the way things are. And, Taurus, very tactile, very, oh, I like nice things. Oh, this is nice. And, oh, I want to eat something. And, very, very earthy, very, they're great. Taurus, I love it. Stability. However, I think you need, because you can't be a people pleaser when you feel like it, but you need to find your sacred space just for you and allow thoughts and to feel with them instead of like getting bogged down by them. Gemini, yes, the main focus is balancing that duality and finding that within the 2 planes, that between the two planes. And that is going to be a major focus on the body and restoring it. Not in a working out manner, not in running a 5K manner, but giving back to your body, drinking from your own cup, saying, you know what, I really overdid it the other day with yard work, so I'm going to need to stretch. It's not the extremes of like all and nothing. It's the, okay, I did a little too much on this side. So now I've got to do something to combat that so that I don't feel like not doing anything. It's finding that inner peace of, I'm doing this for my body. I'm restoring this. This feels good. And I'm going to honor that. Cancer, yes, the nurturing sign, but Cancer, I feel like you're wanting to do this and wanting to do this. Cancer, you're really honing in on like the big ideas you've been sitting on, and a lot of it has to focus around finances. I see you very financially aware this month, and putting things away, like squirrel with their nuts or whatever, saving your pennies for the big thing. So kudos to you. Keep on with that. And if you haven't been doing that, then Cancer, you need to focus on that and focus on where it's not where you're spending it, because you don't even realize that you're spending it. And that's the thing you need to be aware of more so. Okay, Leo, again, Leo the lion wants to roar and say, I'm the king of the forest, but, excuse me, let's break that down more so to the playfulness in the Wizard of Oz, like, I feel pretty, so go ahead. Ignite that childlike wonder and awe in the playfulness of things. Whether, you babysit children or, pick up your own kids or your grandkids, or I don't want to say other people's kids because then it sounds like you're like kidnapping them, but you get the drift. Playfulness, ignite the spark of youthful vitality through playfulness. The spark doesn't always have to roar. Virgo, it's about the purification, the pure intention. Virgo gets caught up in perfectionism. Virgo, I need you to get more into not the playfulness, the pure intention. I'm sorry, the pure intention of why you're doing things, and stop with the people pleasing. Stop with the everything is a critical manner. Just do something for the sake of doing it without putting the parameters of perfectionism around it. There's a lot of alliteration there. Libra, would you find your joy, please? Okay, the joy that you give to others or help them to attain. Could you give a little to you? It's okay. May I give you permission to do that? Scorpio, yeah, intense, but you have got this passion. Passion is the forefront of your sign right now. And it's about everything you do is igniting a passion, the way that you see things, the way that you're looking at things. Again, I'm focusing on yard work for you and making your surroundings through the passion of what you want to do it and making it your own. It's like, you know what, I'm going to plant this color this year, or I'm going to do this. It's through the passion of like, as I get that, I hear like, painting a canvas with different colors to represent what you feel or wish to feel and bringing that into your environment. Passion. Sagittarius. Yeah, again, you want to find the truth in things. You want people to be held accountable for their truth. You're always the truth seeker. And because you've been wounded by people not being fully transparent or truthful to you in many times, and that's all you've ever asked, like, I'll accept you for you, but don't mislead me by non-truth telling, betrayal, etc. You know what? People do the craziest things. So Sagittarius, just live your own truth. Let them do them, you do you, and live your own truth. Stand in your own truth. Oh, Capricorn, the leader. This is going to be a really good year for Capricorn, but it's the leading for yourself. Yes, you're always going to feel as though any situation you're in, any organization you're in, any group you even get into, you're always going to be the, well, here, let me show you, and you're doing it out of helping, not ego. But it's, you know what, you don't always have to be the leader. One time I took a class for certification for mediumship and psychicness, and even though I also teach that, I downplayed it. I didn't need to tell people that, oh, I also am a teacher. I didn't, because I didn't want to be looked upon as that title, because I was there to learn, because there's always something to learn. And then later, I'll never forget, Stephanie Savoy, thank you so much. She said to me, I had no idea all the things that you have already done in your, career and spiritualism and everything, and the things that you've taught and the workshops you've led and the retreats and everything. And the fact that you sat there amongst us students as a student makes you a bigger teacher. And I'll leave it at that. And that really hit me and obviously impacted me, because that was many years ago. So it's more about just allowing yourself to not be the leader. Aquarius, as much as you scream independence, you're feeling not heard, not seen. And you want to be part of the community, but you're like, no, I don't. I'm okay being a lone wolf. It's okay to say, I'm good on my own, but right now I would like to be a part of something bigger than just myself. And with that flair and everything that you have, you can be seen a lot more. The only way you're going to be heard is if you speak up. The only way you're going to be seen is if you show up. So show up in those things that you want to be a part of. It's okay to be a part of that. And it's okay to still remain in your own independence with your own flair, because that's what makes you you. But go out there, more community things for yourself. And last but certainly not least, Pisces. This time for you is all about your heightened intuition, and to allow yourself to ebb and flow with that, to feel that, to build more trust with that, and to really live it, not always having to prove that you have it. I always say people are, always showing me their resume. Oh, yes, I've taken this class. And oh, yes, I read this book and I did it. Okay, that's great. Good for you, but you don't need to prove it to me. I'm not interviewing you. Just use it for yourself. If those are the tools you've been putting in your tool chest, great. Now use them, but for yourself. All right, very heightened energies. I love it all. Thanks for joining me on my Sunday morning musings.